All right, you ready? What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity ENC. You're still your current and longest reigning pay-per-view champ here, and I'm joined by my friend and co-host, who is now shocked.
Holy shit. If you guys are watching NXT tonight, wow.
Don't
I'm
spoil
not going to.
it.
I'm not. But there might be somebody sick pulling up, and I can't wait. But what it's up, we're talking about what we talk about, Crown Jewel?
No, we're talking about Raw.
Raw. Oh, that pre recorded bullshit. Honestly, Ant, I was going to. I knew the results. I knew the results Saturday night. I got
I got,
texted the results.
I
Like
thought like the
somebody told me,
back.
the person that sends me the results early during those shows because I don't care to watch them. He was like, "Hey, congrats, Priest and Gunther are running it back." I was like, "What do you mean?" And then he sent me the results, and he was like, and then he told me everything. I was like, "So Priest?" I was like, "Priest." He before, I don't want to get off topic, but he'll text me like, "Hey, like when they go to Saudi and stuff like that, he'll text me and be like, "Yo, do you want the spoilers or no?" And it depends. I'm like, yes and no. So like, I'll say yeah. I said yes to this one, and I'm happy with kind of how this Raw went. It was different. It was very different. I like Damian Priest's pyro, but we'll talk about it. Yeah.
I did want Dominic. I did. I have a soft spot for him, but we'll get there when we get there. So, as you mentioned, it was taped live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Monday Night Raw for November 4th, 2024. And let me tell you, I cannot spell Riyadh for the life of me. I think I've like misspelled it so many times in like the description. So I'm gonna look out for that. But we start off Raw with Dominik Mysterio, Raquel Rodriguez, and the new Women's Crown Jewel champion, World Women's Champion Liv Morgan. They're in the ring. Liv says, "Give a warm welcome to your new Crown Jewel champion, me." The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is over, and we are moving on to the Liv Morgan World Tour. I took out Rhea Ripley for a third time. She's going to be gone for a very long time. Then I defeated Nia Jax to become the Crown Jewel champion. I have proven I am the greatest women's champion of all time. And then Dominic takes the mic, and Dom says, "After I win," but he's interrupted by the women's tag champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Belair says, "You guys aren't the only ones that walked out with gold last night," which is funny because it's taped, so they couldn't really edit what she said. But Crown Jewel was supposed to be 2 nights, which doesn't really matter. But if you're a stickler, she goes, "We walked out with gold at Crown Jewel." Liv says, "We were in the middle of a celebration before you interrupted us." Bianca, "Do you think you're the best?" "Well, the problem is your tag team partner thinks the same thing about herself. Raquel and I have a real friendship. The only thing keeping y'all together are those tag team titles." And then Adam Pearce comes out and tells them all to relax. Bianca slaps Liv. And then Adam tells Liv that there's a battle royal for a number one contendership taking place right now, and that both Bianca and Jade will be involved. Before we get into the battle royal, what did you think of this opening segment where it looks like Bianca wants Liv Morgan and Jade's kind of in the background, like she's not really saying she wants anybody. But what did you think of this surprising opener? I was surprised to see Bianca and Jade come out.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think they're finally starting to stir the pot. I've been saying this forever, Ant. Right? When are they going to turn on each other?
Every prediction.
So every single prediction I do that they're on, I say it. So we are fine. Next, what's the next pay per view? Survivor Series. If they have a match at War Games, defending that titles, holy shit, that's gonna happen right there.
Who was
I'm
it
excited.
sorry to cut you off. Jonathan Coachman said recently that they don't get along with each other.
Jonathan Coachman in real life.
He said that Bianca and Jade aren't getting along, and that it's hard for Bianca because she's supposed to give the rub to Jade, kinda. And like another thing he mentioned was that, which is kind of stupid. He's like, Bianca makes her own outfits, Jade doesn't. So I think he's trying to say that Bianca's putting in some more work to help out Jade, because if they want to have the same attire, Bianca's gonna have to make one for Jade too, because she makes her own custom attire. So he's saying that Bianca's putting in more work to help Jade, and that's causing issues because Bianca just wants to be on her own and do her own thing type deal. And
So
maybe
first
he's
off,
just saying that to kind of get people, to storyline going, maybe. But
first off, last time I checked, excuse me, sorry, but this time change has really fucked up my sleep schedule. Election night was last night. I had a presentation this morning at 7:30. Woke up early, so my bad, chat. My bad, guys. But okay, let me get prepared. So let me move. Let me move you to this so I can actually look at it. All right. First off, last time I checked, Jonathan Coachman is not employed by the WWE. Unless he has some bullshit friends that are telling him shit backstage, I don't believe a man that word says. I don't believe a man that word says. That man has been fired twice from the company, has been fired from ESPN. By the way, horrible sports analyst. As me, you guys all know, I'm big in the football world. Horrible.
Steelers, right?
Yes, Steelers and Ohio State College. And I love all sports. I do sports media and all that shit. So I know Jonathan Coachman, and he seems just bitter. Like he always has something to say about people. But if he's right, let's just say in a hypothetical world that he's correct, that everything he says is true. Do you really blame Bianca? Here's this girl coming in from AEW, and I hate to bring it up, but Jade Cargill, she's a black woman. WWE doesn't have much of that. That is why, in my opinion, and again, Bianca is a phenomenal wrestler. Real quick before I get into this, so I don't get canceled. Bianca's one of the strongest women on that roster. She knows how to fucking work. She's great. She deserves all the success in ring. Now, with that being said, WWE ten you look they have an audience, right? Each character has an audience. They have a fan group. They have a group of supporters. When was the last time we've seen a successful, good, black female wrestler that has main evented WrestleManias? You could put Sasha Banks in that category, okay. But Bianca, who's main evented WrestleManias, main evented SummerSlams, stadium shows, who's been in that main event scene during that COVID pandemic? It's Bianca. And here's this girl that looks just like her coming from AEW, and she's much taller. She's very successful outside of the wrestling business, and her husband is Brandon Phillips, former Cincinnati Red, who's a baseball legend. I would be kind of pissed off if I was Bianca Belair. I'm not going to lie, because ever since Jade Cargill has been in WWE, I feel like this is Bianca. That's the task they gave Bianca. Hey, go make Jade Cargill. When they have their fight, Bianca's essentially going to get pinned. And I don't blame her. And, Montez, and I'm sorry to get long into this because
They're
we're
fine.
about to have to take a break in 6 weeks,
No,
but it's important. It is important because what does the future after this feud? What's the future gonna look like for Bianca and her husband, her spouse Montez Ford? Him and Angelo Dawkins kind of been on the same shit that MVP, Shelton, and Bobby are on. Vince isn't giving us opportunities. We're the Street Profits. Why aren't we in the Motor City Machine Guns come in and win a tag team title the third fucking day? I mean, I don't blame her. I don't blame Montez. I'm using Montez as an example because, that's her significant other. They're together. And they're both at the point where, like, they're out there doing really good work, making an impact, a culture impact. And again, I hate bringing that up, but let's just be honest with ourselves. That's the sad reality. And I hate that shit, but that's the sad reality. And they just
they're not utilized. They're and if they are, it's to make other talent look good. That's why Ricochet left.
Yeah.
Because he's too busy making these guys look fucking great. That's why Shelton Benjamin is one of the best in-ring performers the business has ever seen. This guy, don't forget, he is in the same OVW class as Brock, Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, he's in that category. He's a real wrestler amateur. So I don't know what the future holds for Bianca, but if she's not pushed, and if essentially Jade Cargill becomes that next, what Bianca Belair was during the pandemic while she had that 2-year run, I don't blame her.
Let's talk about that for a minute because
my bad, because I know we all have 4 minutes left. I just yapped, but it's important. It really is.
The thing I want to talk about though, because you touched upon, is what's next for Bianca. This match, it kind of gave us a little hint to a couple of things that could take place. So we've got the number 1 contenders battle royal, and it ends up coming down to Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, and I call them Black Girl Magic, but Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. During the match, Raquel pulls onto Bianca's ponytail, and Jade tries to help, but then Liv Morgan pulls both Jade and Bianca down to the floor. So Bianca and Jade then chase off Raquel and Liv. Io hits Lyra with a German suplex onto the apron, and Lyra falls off. Io Sky is the new number 1 contender. But in reality, it looks like, which I hate when they put different storylines like mixing together, it looks like Bianca's going to want to go after Liv now. So maybe she'll get a predominant role. I don't know, but we've got Survivor Series coming up, and I highly doubt they're going to put her in a singles match, Bianca. But what do you think of Io Sky, and do you think that might change with Bianca?
Bro, what do people see? What do people see in there besides her being phenomenal in the ring? I'm different. For me, this is why I'm going to name you guys my favorite. In these next 2, I'm not going to take the whole 4 minutes. I'm going to try not to. I swear. But here's the thing. My favorite wrestlers, Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, I'll put Roman in that category. They have charisma, personality, no disrespect. Io Sky doesn't even fucking speak English. That's why she needed Dakota Kai and Bayley to do the promos for her while she was champion. I mean, Liv Morgan and her are just going to have a good match. You can't do anything with Io. She's the perfect person. She is the perfect person to go to AEW. And I know people are going to hate that. She should be in AEW. She should be at Stardom because she's not going to get in. She has a lot of fans. So I'm probably wrong on this. But for me, it's just like, how do I get behind her when it's, who can I do that? And again, no disrespect, but yeah. I don't speak Japanese, like Carlito said, so I can't.
Chinese. Here's the thing. She was over in NXT, and she didn't speak at all. She
was fucking great.
So I blame booking. It's like they book her to do it. Like Asuka, when Asuka was heel, she comes out, she does that weird dance.
Look, as much as I think she's phenomenal too. As much as I think she's phenomenal too, I feel the same way I feel about her as I feel about.
I actually, to be honest, and I'm surprised to even say this, I really don't like Triple H's booking lately. I don't think it's good at all. It's like
he books. Who's getting booked? Raquel, Rhea, Bianca. I'm naming women because that's who we're talking about right now. Raquel. Why the fuck is Raquel Rodriguez anywhere? Anywhere. We have 39 seconds, so I'm going to go quick. Why is she anywhere near the fucking main event scene? Okay, we have 30 minutes left, so yeah. Or 30 seconds left, so I will continue this conversation.
We'll continue this afterwards, about why Raquel is involved. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. And we are back. Christian was just covering his thoughts on Raquel Rodriguez. Why is she being used on the main roster? I kind of agree. I think she makes a good bodyguard because of her height, and it makes sense because she was partners with Liv. Why she would get involved? She did have a background issue with Rhea Ripley in NXT, but I feel like a lot of the people that are being presented to us and being shown to us are not main level star worthy people, and it just takes away from the show. It's like I feel like I'm watching Raw from like 1993. Like by the time I said this in the recap for Crown Jewel, by the time you get to the main event, I'm so over the fucking commercials that I don't even care. Like I don't even care by the main event. And I feel like Raw lately, we've talked about this, has just been pretty shitty. But let's move on. We see the New Day being interviewed backstage. Xavier Woods says they should be tagged. They should be tag team champions, but Chad Gable got involved. Kofi says that he doesn't think that was the issue. And Xavier Woods says that Kofi dropped the ball. And then that screen immediately goes black as we see the Miz is tied to a chair with tape on his face, and there's a mask covering him. Miz says it's a misunderstanding. He thinks they're going after the Final Testament. And Bo Dallas laughs and says, the whole time we wanted you. He says that Miz will beg and plead for mercy and return to dust, and then Dexter Lumis chokes out the Miz. This is interesting because it is long-term storytelling. We know the Miz used to be in a group with Bo Dallas, the Miz Taraj, and we did see Dexter Lumis choke out the Miz when he was in the main roster. So interesting little Easter eggs there. But what do you think of this whole Miz Wyatt 6 storyline here?
I mean, I'm not too interested in it. It's just one of those filler things for me.
Yeah, I love.
I don't think the Miz essentially is doing. I think that last little what's it called? The little last Awesome Truth run was it for me. I really like the Miz. I love what he's done, but at this point, I just don't. I don't find him interesting.
I get it. Next up, we have the War Raiders versus the New Day. Xavier Woods tags himself in during the match, and Ivar lands a spine buster, and War Machine takes Xavier Woods, and the War Raiders get the win after miscommunication again from the New Day. They announced the big 10-year celebration for the New Day, so that's probably when we're going to see Woods turn. But basic match, you got to have the War Raiders win because they're the number one contenders. So what's the point of having? Right. Next, we see Sami Zayn coming out. Sami says, I want to talk about Crown Jewel. And immediately Jey Uso comes out and hugs Sami. Jey says, before you say what you need to say, I want to thank you. I need you to be 100%. Was that haluva kick to Roman an accident? Then Jimmy Uso comes out. Jimmy says, Uso, what's wrong with you? We watched Sami kick OTC in the face on purpose. We can't trust this fool. Sami says, do I need to remind you of your track record? You brought me in first. You kicked me. You kicked Roman, and then you kicked your brother Jay. He says, and then Jimmy says, I ain't the bad guy here. Sami says, I don't hate you, brother. You're not the bad guy, but you make bad decisions. I came out for Jay for a minute when I was there. The four of us, it felt like old times, but that lasted for a minute and everything fell apart. I'm not doing this again. Jay, I love you. I'm sorry. I can't do this. I'm out. I'm asking you, please come out to SmackDown, talk to ODC, and we can sell this like family. Jimmy says he ain't family. And then Jay said, just because he ain't blood really doesn't mean he's not my family. He had my back. I see Jay, Jimmy, and Sami Uso. I hope to see you on SmackDown, my brother. So Jay is pleading for Sami to come help them apologize to Roman. Jimmy wants no part of it. What do you think is going to play out?
I agree with Jimmy. I think Sami. I don't like Sami being added into this shit. I think he blocked me on Twitter because I said that too.
Oh no.
I just don't look, Sammy. No, I've never been a fan. I've always kept it neutral with him because I really enjoy him in the ring. I think he's really good at the in ring. He's a really good pro wrestler. He's just cringy and he's so corny. I could never get behind him. I get it. I get it. I get both of the things, right? He was a big part of the bloodline story. It's a good thing for, you could say I was that guy looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knows he was in that. He knows. I understand, um, that part of it, but at the same time, it's um, we really got to let the families work this battle out. I don't think Sammy really at this point has anything to do with should have anything to do with the bloodline. Maybe they just got to keep him on TV. They were in Saudi. He's been popular there over the couple years. Um, while he wasn't, so it's a weird thing. I'm not a big fan of it. I personally think, again, he could be doing anything else, but we'll see how this works. I really don't like him being a part of it. I just don't.
Yeah, Sami Zayn has always been kind of boring to me. I like his wrestling, but when it comes to his stuff, it's not my favorite. Next, we see Dragon Lee with Zelina Vega defeat Chad Gable with Ivy Nile. After Rey Mysterio runs down, Chad tries to pull off Rey's mask. Rey kicks him, and Dragon Lee lands his finisher. And I mean, I don't really care, but I'm a Rey Mysterio fan. I like Dragon Lee. I like Chad Gable too, but I don't really care about the storyline. We've made it to our main event. We've got Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Seth Rollins versus Dominik Mysterio. One of these men will be the number one contender for Gunther's world title. Damian chases Dominik around the ring to start. Sheamus lands an Irish curse backbreaker to all three men. Seth pedigrees Dominik. Bronson Reed then comes out and attacks Priest and Sheamus. And then Bronson lands Seth Rollins attacks Bronson, but Bronson rams Seth into the apron. Bronson lands a DVD to Damian Priest and Sheamus. And then Bronson hits a tsunami to both Damian and Sheamus. God, he fucks up everybody. And the end comes when Bronson tsunami Seth through a table. Dominik hits a 619 to Priest, but Priest lands south of heaven. And Damian Priest is going to take on Gunther. Gunther comes out with Priest. I know you're happy about that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, again, I knew. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. This was a pre-recorded show. I knew what was. I already knew I knew what happened Saturday.
Yep.
So I was happy with the result. Do I think he's gonna win it again? That's a big question. I don't know.
No.
I don't think so. Sadly, but who knows? Who knows? But no, I think they have plans with. I think they have plans for Gunther with that title for a little bit. So.
Yeah, I do think they're gonna have a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I agree with you. I don't think we're gonna see a title change right now. But who knows? The WWE, you never know. With that, we've covered all of Monday Night Raw. We've got NXT tonight, AEW Dynamite, SmackDown, Survivor Series, Full Gear, a lot coming your way. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.